Okay, my super fam, so Neuvillette and Hu Tao official banner has just been dropped, and oh my god, I have to say that it's a pretty interesting banner this time around, and we will have a lot to discuss in today's video. However, in terms of the 4-star character, we did manage to actually predict 2 out of 3 character correct, which is Xingqiu and Diona, which I'm pretty happy about. So yeah, that is that. But before we jump into the video, guys, I just want to thank today's video sponsor, Tokyo Treats and Sakuraco. So Tokyo Treats and Sakuraco are Japanese subscription box services that offer snacks all the way from Japan right to your doorsteps. All their boxes contains a cultural guides booklet that tells you everything you need to know about what's inside the box, as well as the information about the snack's history, origins, ingredients, and other fun facts. So for Tokyo Treats, who's a monthly pop Japanese snack subscription box, you will get up to 20 of the latest exclusive limited edition and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks that are only available in Japan for a limited time. We have the Kit Kat Chestnut, which is something that's a very common treat during the Full Moon Festival, and it is something that I have never tried before or have actually seen with a Kit Kat brand. There's soy sauce and sesame senbei crackers as well. Always love these crackers. They are full of flavors and very easy to eat, guys. For those of you who are in love with chocolates, we even have the mint chocolate moon pebbles, or the brown sugar and kinako mochi stick is probably the most unique food item I have tasted so far. A classic rice cake snack coated in nutty kinako or soybean powder. There are so much more things for you to try in the snack box, guys, so there are a lot to share unless you would prefer to eat everything alone, which is totally fine. Now, Sakuraco is a monthly authentic Japanese snack subscription box. Sakuraco is supporting local Japanese snack maker. Each box comes with at least 20 traditional, authentic, and artisan Japanese snacks, including Japanese teas and special Japanese tableware. We have the Full Moon Soft Chew, which is designed with a tiny little bunny on this piece of artwork. I just have to call it artwork, guys, because it's so beautifully designed. It has very pleasant sweetness, so if any one of you who are a sweet tooth, you would definitely love this. There's also the Usagi Pond Senbei. Now this may look like a pretty simple snacks, but don't be fooled, guys. This Kansai classic features a unique blend of 5 types of flour and 6 soy sauces, so it is actually very flavory. And there's also the black okoshi mixed with chosen peanuts, carinto, and roasted black sesame seeds, creating a lovely distinctive sweetness. Now, Sakuraco also have their own strawberry white chocolate fruit, and since strawberry is literally my most favorite fruit, it is definitely something that I have been enjoying myself into. Very pleasant flavor of strawberry white chocolate. I absolutely adore this snacks. Now, every month Sakuraco also sends out a piece of tableware, and this month's item is the Tsukimi dish. Would you look at that? An absolutely stunning piece of work. Rabbit is one of my most favorite animal, and being gifted with this, I am so grateful. It has a glossy and matte texture, and the dish feels absolutely well made, guys. It is a very stunning piece of tableware. Thank you so much Tokyo Treat and Sakuraco for sponsoring this video. They gave me a coupon code to share with you all, so you can experience these snacks for yourself. More information are down in the description box as well as a pinned comment, guys. And now let's just jump into today's video. Now, first off, we have Neuvillette, and we'll be discussing about him a little bit. Again, I've already talked quite a lot about Neuvillette here on my channel, so of course we won't be going too in-depth into him here. However, what you do want to know is, of course, he's going to be a Hydro DPS enabler for you. Of course, if you want, we can also try to build him around being a Hyper Carry Hydro DPS for you, but that would be another story in terms of team discussion we'll be having on another video. But he does have very high scaling, which is shaping up to have a lot of potential. I can't wait to test him out. His gameplay is also probably one of the most unique character we have in the game right now, for he's specifically going to be there on the field doing charge attack, which basically summons a freaking hydro cannon, dealing a lot of AoE damage in the process as well. However, he's also basically stuck within that playstyle, so it's more or less going to be preference most of the time, because just like many other characters who's mostly stuck with only one type of playstyle, you may or may not get bored with the character in the long run. So yes, that's going to be something of your personal preference. The biggest downside in terms of Neuvillette at this point in time, I would say that he won't be able to work alongside with Yelan and Xingqiu. Obviously not that much of a big deal, but there is still a little bit of downside there, since you know Xingqiu and Yelan are absolutely amazing sub DPS character, plus they are Hydro character that may have been able to help Neuvillette with Hydro resonance. So yes, even though Xingqiu is here on the banner, he won't be able to be of help on Neuvillette's team, and we'll just have to work around with other Hydro characters. Now, something more important I want to discuss here in this Neuvillette's part is that many of us may be going for Neuvillette and have been saving up for him for quite some time, so some of you may actually be considering his constellations, which is what I want to touch a bit here. Now, for C1, an interesting constellation I would say, because it gets you to 3 stacks easier, considering the majority of the time you will be only sitting at 2 stack depending on which team you are using. Also, resistance to interruption is good, most likely now that he almost have no interruption during his charge attack, which is a decent thing as well. C2 is technically going to be a good way for you to get a free 32% crit damage increase for his charge attack. C4 will give you more healing source as well as way to charge up his charge attack faster, though every 4 seconds for an extra source water droplet I wouldn't say is too good of a C4 considering how much you have to invest. A C6 allow him to have much longer charge attack time than the normal 3-second default, plus a lot of additional damage from the 2 added current. Something to note also is that for his C3, it's actually enhancing his normal attack by 3 level instead of either elemental skill or elemental burst as in most of the other character. I believe Neuvillette is actually the very first character to have the 3rd constellation being a normal attack increase. But yes, it definitely makes sense because his gameplay is surrounding his charge attack, not his E skill. So that is also definitely a worthwhile constellation for you to consider. Overall, his constellations are pretty good, I would say. Each of the constellation has its merit. Next up, we have Hu Tao. Hu Tao is having quite a lot of rerun at this point in time, but as many of us out there, I know that there are some of us who haven't got our hands on Hu Tao and is considering whether or not to be pulling for her at this point in time. Now, I have to say, guys, Hu Tao is still a top tier pyro DPS because yes, most of the time whenever I need pyro character, I still use Hu Tao. And since she works perfectly well alongside with Xiangling, who's also one of the best pyro character in the game too, then yeah, they just both make an amazing pyro team. So there's of course not much to consider in terms of Hu Tao's ranking within the meta. However, of course, this is once again her rerun, so some of you may also be considering her constellation, in which for Hu Tao C1 is probably one of the best C1 we have in the game, because now her charge attack gameplay is not going to be consuming her stamina, and that is basically huge. And also, if you are a free-to-play player who kind of want to invest into Hu Tao, then of course C1's probably going to be the best stopping point for her. So very cheap, but also have amazing return on investment. C2 allows Hu Tao to be able to apply Blood Blossom a lot easier and also increasing its damage. So basically more passive damage done by Hu Tao as well. C4 is pretty interesting because it's more about her helping out her teammate rather than boosting anything for herself. But yeah, it is locked behind C4, which is pretty expensive. So unless you really want to invest in Hu Tao, I usually don't really recommend you to go all the way up to C4. A C6 is also probably one of the most unique constellation in the game because it's actually kind of like a constellation that changes her playstyle more into a Hu Tao for speed running rather than a normally in a daily life of a Genshin player playing Hu Tao, because the condition in order for you to be able to trigger this is quite a lot. For you have to have Hu Tao under a 25% HP, plus it's only being able to activate once every 60 seconds. So yeah, you're technically going to be there trying to be able to take out your enemies within the time that the C6 is activated before you have to wait a 60-second cooldown. Overall, as I have mentioned, Hu Tao constellation is going to be best value at C1, very cheap for you to invest in. So yes, if you are deciding to be investing into Hu Tao, it's rather you're going to be getting C1 Hu Tao or all the way to C6, depending on how much Primo Gems you have to spare. Moving on to the 4-star character of the banner, as I have mentioned, these are very interesting banner. banner because you know Neuvillette and Hu Tao are both very good character and they're already appearing on one banner session, but the 4-star is also good. We already know how good Xingqiu and Fischl are in Genshin Impact. Xingqiu technically the best hydro character in the game, and Fischl is one of the best electro application, helping energy recharge and off-field damage with us helping you out. Of course there is Diona. She's still absolutely viable guys in terms of her shield and healing capability. Now if you also do happen to have the elegy, then yes, Diona is one of the best character to be making use of the elegy as well, so she's still one of the best crowd support character you can have here on the team. Definitely a perfect character if you are going for a Neuvillette freeze team. So I would say that all 3 of the 4-star character here on the banners are quite valuable, especially when you are trying to snipe their constellations. So a perfect banner for you to try and go for some of these characters. Now the weapon banner is also interesting, for we have the Staff of Homa. We already know that this is one of the best polearm in the game, basically fit any of the DPS polearm character you can find. Very good return on investment if you do happen to be able to get the Homa. Of course the design is absolutely perfect as well, one of my most favorite weapon design in the game. Alongside with that we have the Eternal Flow, which is Neuvillette's weapon. Now I have to say that this weapon, even though it have very high crit damage given to you, this is only a weapon for Neuvillette at this point in time, for it does give you HP increase, so it might be good for characters that want HP percentage. However, the charge attack damage boost is of course only for Neuvillette at this point in time, because Neuvillette is technically the only character that focuses on doing charge attack damage for a catalyst user. So if you are someone who's very invested into Neuvillette, yes, definitely of course this is going to be a weapon for you. But if not, I really would just recommend you to rather save your Primo Gems and pull for future character. However, something even more interesting though is that the 4-star weapons are actually pretty good. We have the Favonius Lance and the Favonius Codex. Of course we already know how important of a weapon Favonius are, so if you do happen to get some of these, it's pretty good. We also have the Fischl's bow. Guys, it's probably one of the rarest bow as well, because it's actually very hard to come by if you want to grab one of these, for I would say it's only back whenever Fischl is here, and it's still not even guaranteed if Fischl is available as well. So it's actually a pretty good time for you to try and snipe this weapon if you want to, like, you know, have a good looking weapon for Fischl. But do note that this is not going to be the best weapon for Fischl, because she has a lot of other good weapons that you can pair her with, and it's also free to play. So this is just more or less a weapon if you want to have Fischl looks good. Guys, there are going to be 2 new fountain weapon being introduced, which is the Claymore and the Sword. But I just want to draw all of your attention to the sword, because if you didn't realize, this has HP secondary stat, and if you also didn't know, then the only weapon that have an HP stat for sword is basically our Key of Kashin suit, which is a specific 5-star option for Nilou. If you want to go for a free to play weapon that has HP percentage, there are none before this specific fountain sword arrive. Now of course we also don't really have too many characters that can make use of HP percentage sword, because it's only for Nilou, Layla and Kirara at this point, I would say. However, you know, it might be a potential good deal for character like Furina, who's going to be coming very soon. Plus it's also the only 4-star HP sword we have at this point, so if you have some Primo Gems and you would love to have a decent HP sword without getting a 5-star, then maybe you will want to try and snipe. Now the passive is kind of like a little bit hard to be activating. However, once you do get the 3 stacks, you have up to 120 EM at R1, plus it helps you with a little bit of energy regen too, so I would say it's kind of nice. Not the best passive for a sword we want to have, but it does give you a decent number of EM, so I would say it's okay for an HP increasing sword. Claymore is basically absolutely the same as the sword, so we don't really have to discuss too much on this. Overall, pretty decent weapon banner, I would say, especially if you are wanting to invest into the character of your choice. But still, of course, I don't always recommend you to go for the weapon banner, because it's very Primo Gems consuming, and would rather go ahead and save for future character character, in which is something we're going to be discussing right now in terms of future banners. We know that right after this is going to be Wrathly and Venti coming up, and yes, if you guys are going to be trying to pull for these characters, you're definitely going to be wanting to be moderate on this very first phase, but definitely guys, most likely Furina is going to be coming right afterward. Of course, Archon character are some of the characters we always want to have on our account. Definitely we don't know Furina's kit just yet, but of course I can't see how you're first messing up an Archon in any way. So in all honesty guys, just try to be as moderate as you can on this 4.1 banners, unless you're someone who would definitely going to be skipping on Furina and, you know, going for future Fontaine character as well, you know, like Navia and Alecchino. Hopefully Alecchino is going to be a playable character, but yes, Fontaine is going to be there with a lot of new character for us to try and pull, so deep consideration is going to be having to be done on your part. Now guys, if you do want to pull for many of the characters yet you are very much lacking on Primogems, then in collaboration with Paimon's Bargain, we are going to be having a huge giveaway when patch 4.1 drops. So if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and join my Discord server, as it's going to be a very good chance for you to get a lot of Primogems, not to mention the reset on the anniversary rewards, which is going to be nice too. If you are considering for patch 4.1 characters yet you are still deciding, then I have a very in-depth video going through that, as I'm sure going to be very helpful to you. So check out the video right here guys, and hopefully it will be able to help you make a better decision. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me till this part of the video guys, and with that I wish you a super day, and I will catch you on my very next video.